79, 80, 81, 82. 82.
Good. Starting at 79, getting to 82.
JD, you're not supposed to tell them. They think I've been walking long steps for like half a mile. It's the joke, it's the bit. That's how we start the bit. I'd been walking for a long time and you were just casual observer. Should we just do this show?
Yeah.
I'm Miles Branman.
I'm Julien Melnick.
I'm the enthusiast.
And I'm not.
This is Wheel Report.
Car news Car news we choose.
Yeah, we pick it.
We pick it.
You have no choice.
And realizing it.
I mean, you do have a choice. You could not watch the show.
Don't do that. But also, some of our news is useless.
I try to make it useful. I try to make things that sometimes could impact your life or you might care about, but I'm not perfect, okay?
No.
I'm still gonna talk about it. This is really not useful unless you, well, I'm gonna talk about it anyway.
Let's do it.
Dodge
Hellcat
has,
for
2019, Dodge revealed the Hellcat Redeye. You know what it is? It's a Hellcat with red eyes. Oh. There, now I did it to you.
I was gonna say it's a Hellcat where you get some coffee in it too.
So Dodge were making the Demon for a while, SRT Demon, and it was nuts. It had 840 horsepower and they didn't make all that many of them, and so now people are like, they're gonna be collector's items and good for you if you bought one. And anyway, so they stopped production on that, and now they had like this gap from a theoretical Demon 840 to the Hellcat at 707, so they're like, you know what? Let's fill the gap with 797 horsepower. That's the Hellcat Redeye.
Okay,
so it's their new range-topping Hellcat, but you can still have the regular Hellcat with now 717 horsepower.
Because if you want to drive in the rain, you can't.
You are not gonna do it.
I remember when you had the Hellcat and you're like, hey,
it was frightening.
Check this out. We burned out till the end of second gear, and that was not on purpose. He's like,
no, dude, it was like the end of third gear.
I can't catch.
Yep, nope, could not. And then we finally caught, but we were already in the next country.
Yes, so
they now have this big Hellcat range, and both of them, the Redeye and the regular Hellcat, can be had in wide body versions, which effectively just add tire width.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really matter, except if you're on a racetrack, because on the street, if you put your foot down hard, you're still gonna spin the tires, even if they're on 305. Or 305, 325.
It has a little bit more stability though.
A little more stability, yes.
You need that when you're working with a vehicle that is that crazy.
Yeah, on a racetrack, it's gonna make a difference, but regular, it's not. And it kind of looks, have you seen the wide body?
It looks stocky. It looks like a Bulldog.
It looks cool, but it also looks very aftermarket.
It does, yeah.
And it was like Dodge's, they're just like, here, let's put some fender flares on. There it is, that looks good.
Let's
charge a couple of $1,000s more for that. Is that enough about the Hellcat?
I mean, muscle cars are the only cars that I would say I really care about.
That's true, you have been rather perky.
Yes.
So let me take the perk out of you. This one is a little odd because it's a very track-focused car, but you can't just call it, it's the track car. You know,
it's the track-focused.
It's the track-focused car. No, you can't just say that. So it's the McLaren 570 that McLaren has now built a long-tail version of, and if you don't know what the long-tail was, it was in 1997 McLaren had an F1 GTR that they raced in the FIA GT Championship. They wanted to commemorate it, so a few years ago they made the 675LT, which we drove in.
Yep.
Which is long-tail.
The green one?
Yeah, that was the green one with the wing that went up, and it was really cool. But effectively, the long-tail is just longer, you know, and that's really all it is. It's more downforce because it's more stability, and you know. So they made a long-tail version now of the 570, and they're calling it the 600LT. I don't know how to really classify it. It's definitely not a sports car.
No.
But it's like at 500 and hang on, how much horsepower does it make? 592 and 457 pound-feet of torque.
I would still consider it a supercar.
So that's okay. So
it's a supercar.
It's a supercar. It's definitely not hypercar, for sure not.
But
it's like
not just a sports car either.
No, yeah.
I would say like when in doubt, let's look at the price tag.
Out.
Yeah, so let's look at the price tag of it, and at almost 600 horsepower and the price being well into the hundreds.
242.
242.
That's still so much money.
That is for sure a supercar.
Money.
Yeah. Sports cars don't get up that much, do they?
No, they don't get close.
They're like 100 and something at most.
Yeah, you're right. If you want to look at price, it's definitely in that category. But the coolest thing about this thing is that its exhaust ports come out of the top of the car.
Oh yeah, that is really rad.
Yeah.
What is another vehicle that does that?
Well,
seen that
Porsche
before.
pioneered that, and I can't remember which model they did, but they pioneered it years ago. It actually adds downforce because the exhaust comes out over the rear wing.
And it pushes it.
And it pushes it down. It adds downforce. And it looks BA.
That's
you can
really
also
rad.
grill with it.
Oh, no.
Kroger.
Ooh, Kroger.
What you know about Kroger?
My sister works for them. She used to work here at Ralph's in California, supermarket. And now she works at Kroger up in the Northwest.
Cool.
Yeah, supermarkets. Grocery stores.
Yes.
Delicious treats for the boys and girls.
Now delivered autonomously.
Oh, my next door neighbor, they get their groceries delivered.
Not autonomously.
No, by a
'cause
man.
Kroger just partnered with a autonomous vehicle startup called Neuro, and they want to deliver all their groceries starting this fall to 35 states, 2,800 stores. I don't know how procedurally, regulatory-wise, this is going to work, but
I don't either, because, I mean, the only things I can think of, and my mind's starting to go crazy with this kind of stuff because where it goes, like maybe a remote situation where there's like remote controls.
yeah. So you don't have that job anymore. You don't have the driver.
No, there's no more driver. Pause. If this goes well and they start delivering and the delivery cost is somewhat, if not minimal, because it will
You're not
be.
paying the salary of the driver.
And then think about the grocery stores.
Oh yeah, like what Amazon has talked about having no cashiers and you just sort of walk out of the store and it automatically deducts from your account.
What happens when like supermarkets no longer have to carry all these goods because you just pick it online and it gets delivered to your house? Now supermarkets as an entity don't have to be built.
Dude, crazy. Okay, so it's a warehouse, right? And in this future that I'm sort of constructing right now.
Which could be in like 2 years.
Yeah, it could not take long. They want to do drones, right?
Yeah.
So it's robots getting the order, computers getting the order, and then robots at the warehouse giving the goods to the drone. The drone delivers it to you. There is no human contact whatsoever.
If it takes,
you purchase a thing, no humans touch.
They've already done that. Like in the Amazon warehouses, there are already robots that pick out the products, barcode.
Okay, yeah.
You just have to run it from bin to bin.
Yeah.
They're already using that. So now you've just eliminated 2 full jobs. Someone who picks the product off the shelf and someone who delivers the product.
Yeah,
Like
dude,
that's 2 full delivery services going automated. I mean, if we're gonna go like
vehicles are gonna be built completely automated. I think most of them already are. But you know, then the delivery and then the vehicles themselves driving themselves autonomous. I mean, there's like so much automation that's in progress right now.
And you couple that with, and we're creating an extremely weird situation. You couple jobs decreasing because automation is taking place, and increase of population, which we see on a regular basis, and we're having that happen right now.
Blade Runner.
Exactly.
2049. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Our planet, we're all humans, we're gonna be just fine. I don't believe that statement at all.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're decreasing, I mean, the efficiency,
we've gone way off the beaten path.
You know what, since we're going off, I got some ideas.
Okay.
I got some ideas.
I just noticed that this logo on this Acura, this is a 2019 Acura RDX, new crossover thing. It's as big as my hand.
That's pointless.
That's Jagunda.
Does this have any of the...
Yeah, it's got the radar, adaptive cruise control things here and up there. But, woo!
Yeah.
Wait, what were you saying? I do feel like we only had 3 stories. That wasn't...
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Blade Runner, and there's actually a few things I know about Blade Runner.
Go for it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a movie.
It's a car show, though. We've already completely gone off topic here,
But there's a car in the movie that I want to talk about.
a
You saw
flying car.
2049. It was also in the original Blade Runner. It's year 2049.
Yep.
The vehicle that actor Ryan Gosling drives, his police vehicle, is known as a spinner. That vehicle can
like
drive
the fidget spinners.
No.
Like the wheels that they outlawed because they were distracting to drivers.
The spinner is a vehicle that can drive on ground and also vertical takeoff, fly in the air, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The spinner in that movie specifically was made by an automaker that we actually have today.
I didn't see a badge on it.
There was. It was in there. It was subtle, but it wasn't hidden. They didn't try to hide it. They didn't do anything. They also didn't bring any attention to it. And even out of that fake world, in real world, the automaker did not advertise it or mention it at all on their website.
Seems like a missed opportunity.
It does, especially for this automaker, which, I mean, doesn't really do big business over here, but it was Peugeot.
Yeah, Peugeot doesn't do any business over here.
No.
It's all Europe, but Peugeot? Really?
Peugeot. Yes, and it wasn't them taking a Peugeot vehicle and then putting a bunch of modifications on it, and nerds just know that, oh, that was a Peugeot.
Yeah.
No, it literally had on the front, in between the two front wheels, was Peugeot symbol, and on the dash inside the vehicle.
I've just realized what happened. Why they didn't advertise.
Why?
Because it's French. So they were gonna advertise it, but then they wanted a smoke break.
That's
so they just
disrespectful.
Just like your French tuck, your shirt, I noticed.
French
Don't think I didn't notice.
tuck. That's right, you did.
I know a thing or two about fashion.
Trying
Just
to
one thing,
look
or maybe
good.
two. One or two things.
That vehicle had another couple really cool things equipped with it. It had a drone that came out of the hood of the car.
I remember that. That was kind of cool.
Came up and it was like a surveillance drone. Also inside the vehicle, we have full computer like a police vehicle,
Yep.
as well as like a hollow pad so that he could see the holograms and talk to.
Didn't he talk to that
Yeah,
lady?
exactly.
Okay, yeah.
And this is the big thing that I thought was really interesting. It was not autonomous.
You're right. He drove it.
He did, and there were moments in which he wasn't holding on, which
Yeah.
we can simply just say is cruise control.
Yeah, right.
But in the
Air
year,
cruise control.
Yeah, in the year 2049.
This lines up with my thought that not all vehicles by that time will be autonomous.
Which is funny because we were just mentioning how grocery stores and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this vehicle was not autonomous, which just shows the need for interaction with the vehicle at that time.
Yeah.
You know, overriding.
Obviously,
that kind of
it's a fictitious future,
Yeah,
but you know, like,
course.
okay, that's a cool thing to
stuff. It was
point out.
interesting, yeah.
But that I did think the vehicle was pretty cool,
It
and
is.
now I'm remembering, yeah, he did drive it.
Mhm.
So that's kind of cool.
Yep, and it was three-wheeled. Now, Star Wars.
Yeah,
What's my favorite vehicle in Star Wars?
absolutely, the Millennium Falcon.
Do you know what that is if we had that out here today?
Not real.
Okay, you're being so mean. It is a tugboat.
Like if you were to translate
Yes.
in the Star Wars universe what the
Yes.
Millennium Falcon is to our universe,
Mhm.
it would be a tugboat.
A tugboat.
That is so not glamorous.
a tow truck.
That's why all the Star Wars, like all the other people who aren't like, you know, Han
Yeah.
or
Or anyone. And when
anyone,
it's just Han.
they're always just pissed. Like, look at that tugboat.
Yeah, that hunk of junk.
That hunk of junk.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
That
it makes sense now.
Vehicle is a tugboat. It has a lot of modifications that happened when it was, when it was owned by Lando Calrissian. Now
that was who I was trying to think. Why couldn't I think of it?
Yeah, it's all right. I'm the nerd. You're not.
Yeah.
That vehicle being a tugboat, what they ended up doing was imagine a tow truck or a semi truck, right?
Okay.
What is the main purpose? To haul.
Yeah.
It has a lot of power.
Long distance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of torque, a lot that goes on because it has to move a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine retuning a vehicle like that to transfer all of that towing and torque and that power purely to acceleration and speed.
Well, it does that. Like all the power and torque, that is its purpose, acceleration and speed.
But instead of adding any weight, you keep it very light.
Oh, okay.
And you
it's like, okay, I've wondered this, like, you know when they take the trailers off the back
Yeah.
of the semi-trucks? I'm like, I want to see that thing do a drag. I want it stripped down.
They do.
Doing a drag.
They do semi-truck drag racing.
they really?
Yes, they do.
How did I not know this?
Wait, you really didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Absolutely do semi-truck drag
Because
races.
they're massive engines,
They're
like 1,000 pound
insane.
feet of torque.
And if they're not careful, because of how much power is being transferred from the engine to the wheels,
it's a lot of weight over the front.
It'll snap in half. It'll twist and completely snap.
Oh my
What is it?
gosh.
The drivetrain is.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they apply too much power, they'll completely. And you'll see the cabin and the back, the wheels, and all of a sudden the back part just goes and it like twists. And snaps.
Okay, so wrap this up for me with the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
So you take the Millennium Falcon,
Yeah.
they redistributed the power. They have something called a slam overdrive. What that does is
Slam overdrive?
right? It takes all
Ayo.
auxiliary power. So imagine all of the electrical stuff that happens in this vehicle. Anything that robs the
Windows,
horsepower.
anything the battery is.
anything that will take any sort of horsepower, any sort of power away from the car.
Yeah.
But you don't use it to drive. So just the basic
Stuff, yeah.
Imagine being able to push a button, all of that disengages and gets transferred back into the engine and back into horsepower.
Oh, so that's when it like that's when the Millennium Falcon like kicks it into high gear.
Exactly.
It's
They are
using
able
the slam overdrive?
They are able to pull all auxiliary power, anything, lights, missiles, lasers, force field, all that. They pull it all off and transfer it directly to the engine.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
what
and
a
that's
like
the slam
secret
overdrive.
weapon kind of thing.
It's super rad, and that's kind of why they're like, he's always like, this thing can do this thing can do that, it can go so fast. That's why. It
Yeah.
has that secret weapon. It's like nitrous on steroids. Yeah.
So,
That's all I got, man.
wow.
That's why I'm in love with the Millennium Falcon. There's so many little aspects to it.
You've
And
always
also-
told me you're looking for the Millennium Falcon of vehicles.
And
so it
pretty
would
much,
be a semi.
It would be a semi-truck. If I was to put it into real world terms, it's basically just, and they did it best in Spaceballs. It is a motorhome. That's all. That's all
the
it is.
Winnebago?
Yeah,
It's
that's
the Winnebago.
all it is.
Dude, it would be an electric Winnebago. If Tesla made a Winnebago,
And
it would be the Millennium Falcon.
if we were to really make it equal, it would be an electric Winnebago that you could take all the power from that Winnebago that goes into running the other parts, the refrigerator and all that stuff, and transfer it to the engine so that when you need it, you can go super fast. Yeah.
Well, this hasn't been a traditional show, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I just, there's a lot, my imagination's huge, and I really spent a lot of time in these nerd universes, and I see a lot of similarities in what they're doing in theirs and some of the vehicles we have in our today. So I'm starting to draw
because the ideas
parallels.
had to come from somewhere,
Exactly.
and that's cool.
And there's a lot of creativity that's out there, so we're gonna bring you a little dose of creativity by yours truly.
Yeah, all right, so this is how the format of the show is going to go from here on out, and if you don't like it, tough.
You can just turn it off when I start talking. And we will never, ever, and let me just clear this up, ever figure out how to properly do this. Oh, there he is. There he is. He's, all right. You okay?
No.